Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Lusheen. I decided to update this intro overview video for you. Although a lot of the course is going to remain as it was last year, lots happened over the previous 9 to 12 months, and so I'm going to be augmenting this course as we go through it, but for the most part, it's going to remain the same. So this is me with the board of directors for AS American Society of Safety Professionals. This was right before the closing presentation at Safety 2025, which was in Orlando this year at the end of July. I learned a lot at that meeting. I actively observe, that's a good way to put it, LinkedIn, and I also even read subreddits for the safety profession. And there's been a push for training young safety professionals or new safety professionals more on their social skills. And this is both communication and the ability to persuade. Having some form of business acumen or understanding how safety relates to the business, the cost of it, things like that. There's been some resistance by the quote-unquote old guard for pursuing Safety 2, which is also called Safety Differently, which is also called HOP. Kind of put those all in the same bucket. I'll talk about those. There's been a focus on serious injuries and fatalities. In particular, the creation of a new category for tracking and measuring workplace incidents. And I'll talk about that. I'm learning more about it, and I actually have some friends who specialize in it, and I may be bringing them in for a guest speaker to talk about SIFs. Ethics and professionalism has always been a concern, but I think it's been heightened, and I may talk about some of the things that happened over the last year. I'm currently working on a manuscript on integrity, and I want to share that with you because I think that's going to be the next focus, I think, of the safety profession as we move from an occupation to a profession. Scientific and systems thinking, I will share that as well. That's always been part of this class. And then data analytics, they always talk about it being important. You'll do that in this class, and then I will bring in some content regarding artificial intelligence. Okay, so that's a lot of it's already here, but I'll be, again, adding it. This is the first page of the syllabus. This is where you can contact me, where I'm located. My student hours are going to be 8 a.m. to noon Central Time. You can call me in my office. You can come see me in my office. You can email me anytime. And we can also set up a one-on-one via WebEx or Teams, whatever you prefer. I think you get more out of the course if you ask me questions and ask me to explain things and meet with me. But that's just me. So that's pretty much it for this page. Here's the course description. Essentially, I've been practicing safety for over 30 years. I've learned a lot, especially over the last few years. I was doing some part-time work at a company in Madison, and I was able to apply and test a lot of the things from this course. And this course has been updated based on those experiences, and I will share some of the results and stories, experiences from that part-time job. Other than that, I'm going to focus on writing, being able to communicate in writing. You'll be doing presentations, and we'll be doing the loss run data analysis project using Excel to analyze workers' compensation data. This is a slash class, which means we have both undergraduate and graduate, and here's the breakdown of the difference between the two. So you get a little bit of points for doing the pre-course and the post-course survey, but please do it. It's very simple. There's weekly quizzes, not worth a lot. 10% total, multiple choice. The weekly lecture notes and reflections, it's weighted more for the undergrads because I really want you to do it. Grads, you still get points for it, but you tend to be better at it. It comes more naturally. There are 2 writing assignments. They're 5% each. One is a memo, one is an executive summary. The midterm is worth 5%. Again, not worth much. The semester project is the big thing because that's going to be the biggest time commitment for you all. Depending on your proficiency with Excel and how quickly you pick up the technique and understand what it means, it may take anywhere from 4 to 10 hours a week for a 6-week period, which puts us right even with what the expectations are from an academy perspective. For every 3 credits, you should be putting in like 12 hours per week. But before then, it's not as much. Undergrads only have to write an executive summary. Graduates, you have to write a full technical report with executive summary. The final exam is only worth 10%. It's cumulative. And that's basically it. Here's the schedule. The first 6 weeks are pretty solid. No, 7th is also solid. 8th is also solid. So beginning in week 9, that's where I may start moving things around or adding things. And I may add additional clarification videos each week. Not each week. Within the weekly time frame, just to update a few things. Just as I'm looking at some of these topics, I think you may get more out of some more current papers and presentation and guest lectures, I should say. And I've got lots of people who are willing to help out. So first things first, on the Canvas page, there's the link to the pre-semester survey. It's just a few questions. Just helps me get to know you a little bit better. And I could have done the discussion board where we do the icebreaker and things like that, but I've heard from too many of you, you don't like that. I'm letting you kind of study on your own. I'll post the points here for the pre-semester survey. If you are an undergrad and you did a summer internship that is not your capstone internship, why it couldn't be if you're here, please complete this survey. I'll remind you there'll be emails going out from the department. And here is just screenshots of the 2 surveys I just talked about. If you're a grad student and you're just working full time, you don't have to do the caps or the internship survey. Okay, thank you. I created or I updated a resource for you. Pursuing a degree shouldn't just be classroom learning. There should be opportunities to network and grow your trusted resources. And if you're on campus, you can join the Student Safety Organization. I would like everybody to join the American Society of Safety Professionals. If you haven't already, it's only $15 a year for students. That's a steal. And then I've got additional resources that you can sign up for free. Some are weekly publications. Some are just sites I trust. Just trying to give you more access to more things. How does that sound? Each week is going to have this basic format. This is week 1 of learning objectives, in which there are certain questions I want you to be looking out for and answering. The lecture videos and multimedia. So when I updated this course, the Kobe Technology Group wanted us to keep the videos to under 10 minutes. So that's why there's so many. I've moved away from that. You'll see. Here are the readings. They'll be listed here. They're usually in PDF. Sometimes there'll be a web link that I want you to go to. Then there is I'm calling it the binder assignment, but you're turning in it each week. And I lay it all out here. What I want you to do is summarize what you took away from the course. Or I'm sorry, from that week's content. So in the lectures, what were the big lessons that you took away? And then from the readings, again, what were the big lessons? Here's the premise for it, and that you've watched a video or a set of videos, and hopefully you've listened to it and you've taken some notes and you really thought about it. I want you to share that with me. And then once you've completed each of the individual reflection or summaries, I want you to overall reflect. And what is that? What I want you to do is kind of relate it to your experience, your life, and talk about it. And I've got here 3 to 6 sentences for each of the individual parts, including the assigned readings. And then the final summary, 4 to 8 sentences. So if you go longer, great. If it's just a quick, like you're just repeating what the video is called or the title of the paper, well, that doesn't count. I'll take points off for that. I want you to demonstrate to me what you got out of the assigned material. And that's meant to demonstrate learning, and there's a lot of points. That's where other than the project, that's a majority of the course points. Each week there'll be a quiz. Not each week, that's too precise. Most weeks we'll have a quiz. It's 10 multiple choice questions. I think after the first week, you'll kind of see a method to my madness as far as where I draw my questions from. You get 20 minutes to do it. When it's over, you will have that chance right after you finish it to see which ones you got right. Okay? And the questions come from lecture and assigned readings. If you watch the videos and you're thinking about it and you're taking notes, and that's what you're submitting, the quiz should be easier. If you're just a good quiz taker, it'll be easy. You've got 2 writing assignments, like I mentioned. In week 4, you'll complete the memo. In week 6, you'll complete the executive summary. So everybody does these. It's meant to demonstrate that you can both educate and influence or persuade management based on observations and data. That's what it's really about. The big project, the loss run data analysis, you'll be given a data set, a workers' compensation data set in Microsoft Excel, and you'll be following a technique I've developed over the last 20 years and reporting what you find and interpreting what the results are, and ultimately making a recommendation to management to invest in the safety program in order to reduce not only the occurrence of work comp cases, but reducing the cost, which in turn will lessen the annual policy premiums. And it's very significant. So here's another review. So here are the assignments and their point totals. Here is the basic schedule, but like I said, after week 8, so weeks 9 through 14, I will be changing things up a little bit. I really like all these topics, but with what's occurred over the last year, I may be updating things. So at Safety 2025, I did a presentation with my friend Jill James with the HSI, which is the Health and Safety Institute. Called it the Rosetta Stone because it's meant to be a device by which different groups are able to understand each other. And in this case, it would be management and labor. And we use the ASSP Corporate Listening Tour reports, and you can see, it's about 4 years worth. And we broke them down and presented to the crowd, which we had over 300 people, which is pretty awesome. And then they participated and provided their inputs. And I'm working on a manuscript on what they had said. It was really interesting. So, and then I'm closing out with this, just so you know. There were 3 major categories and then some sub-items for the 2025, which was done I think it was right at the end of 2024 through March of 2025. One was the shifting labor market. Now, this is a very important issue if you didn't know. It's difficult to find dedicated, committed, trustworthy workers. So it's unstable. And that makes it difficult for safety people to make sure that people are trained and using the equipment they should be using properly and communicating the way they should. There's also we're still looking for, who's going to be leading our field and others. It's always a question. And then also mental health of everybody, but more importantly, psychological safety. And I'll talk about that. That's the comfort in which you can ask questions to management or be the dissenting voice on a particular topic. that you won't be punished for it. Next is aligning safety with business strategy. That's where the acumen, business acumen comes from. Going beyond compliance is another thing too. So many companies are focused just on being OSHA compliant, which is the absolute minimum of what they should be doing. And last but not least, safety leadership and culture. I don't like the term safety culture, and I'll talk about that in this class. That safety is a business advantage. It should be based on employee engagement, and it should help improve your safety program. This is the last slide, I promise. I would like to, so I'm going to be on campus again Tuesdays and Thursdays for another lecture, but I'll be available from 8 to noon. So call me, contact me, that'd be great. If you are on LinkedIn, reach out and connect with me. If you're not on LinkedIn, you should be. Please reach out to me. I put my LinkedIn thing here. Connect. I post a lot of things on LinkedIn, very active. My numbers have gone up significantly just in the last year. Some things that are going on right now. So you're probably maybe watching this after. I believe it's going to be August 26th. I can't see the number right here. I'm going to be doing a webinar with my friend Jill James, the OSHA Explorer, showing how to use the OSHA website more effectively. I'm going to be presenting at the Chicago Safety and Health Conference on September 16th. That's available. And then I heard that I get to speak at Safety Connect 2025, which is a completely virtual conference. I'm waiting to speak with the Safeopedia guys to find out what I'll be talking about and when I'll be presenting. So those are these are things that are coming up. There is 1 week at the end of September in which I have to go to a board of directors meeting in Chicago, and then go directly to Seattle to represent the board at a regional operations committee meeting. So that'll be a difficult week for me to communicate with you, but you won't even be able to tell because we're not face to face. So that's really it. I really think you'll get more out of this course the more you put into it. Famous last words, right? I really enjoy this course. I really enjoy the diversity of topics that we cover, and I think that the small changes I make throughout will put you in a position of being ahead of your peers because it's things that are important, becoming kind of the big current events, and I also think they're fun too. So look forward to working with you over the next 15 weeks.